Hey, big sis, got a question for you. I think I know where you're living now. Did you move to Stormbring? Why do you ask? I was doing some shopping downtown, and I could have sworn I saw someone who looked just like you. She was wearing your exact same style of clothes, you know, plain, boring, outdated, tacky. There's no way there's anyone else out there who dresses as badly as you do. So what if I am living in Stormbring? What's it to you? I have an announcement to make. I just moved to Stormbring too. You moved? Harry's company transferred him over here, so we just moved here a little while ago. Is that so? I wasn't aware that his company had a branch in Stormbring. Uh-oh, is this where you try to pry more information out of me? About what? About what Harry, the man who left you because you were a useless, dried-up, barren old hag and married me, is doing these days. Look, don't even bother trying, Nicole. Harry has completely put you out of his mind. You're nothing to him anymore. He's head over heels in love with me. I can barely keep him off me at night. Jamie, please, it's been 7 years. I have absolutely no interest in him, and I haven't for quite some time now. You're not fooling anyone. What, do you want me to still be pining for him or something? Like, is your affection for Harry only based on your hatred for me? No. He's a total dreamboat. I would love him even if he was never married to you. Good for you. Is that all you wanted to tell me? Can I go now? I'm pretty busy over here. Hold it right there, Nicole. Tell me what your address is. Now that we're living so close to each other, I'd love to come over and catch up. So, listen, Nicole, I have got to tell you this. I am absolutely loving my life as the mom of Harry's child. Isn't it insane? The child that made Harry break up with you and marry me is now already 6 years old. He's going to go into first grade this fall. Oh, and he's a boy, by the way. Did I tell you the baby was a boy? He's such a bundle of energy. It's adorable how much he runs around and plays. Sometimes it's even a little bit too much for me. It's like, good grief, let me take a break, sweetie. Mommy's already played soccer with you 3 times today. I need a vacation, bad. Well, if it isn't Jamie again. Look, would you please stop texting me at random times during the day to send me completely pointless messages? This is the phone number that I use for work, and it's really distracting to have my notification list so filled up with your nonsense that I can't find messages from my clients. Aw, don't be that way. We're sisters, aren't we? So yeah, let me tell you about this absolutely hilarious thing he did in the park the other day. I'll pass. We were walking down the sidewalk, and then this old guy with a dog comes by. I am blocking your number. Goodbye forever. What? Hey, you can't block me. Hey there, Nicole. It's your favorite little sister Jamie again. Oh, for the love of... You got a new phone number just to bother me? Kinda? But I mean, since we're living in the same city now and everything, I thought that it would be kind of important to have some way to contact you in the event of an emergency or something. I wouldn't even want you to contact me to warn me of an incoming tornado about to destroy my house. Come on, Nicole, why are you being so stuck up like this? I've been doing nothing but babysit my kid all the time. I didn't have anything fun to do until you came along. I don't want to throw away my new toy just a few days after I got it. I'm a toy to you, huh? Yep, and playing with you is the most fun I've had since... Well, since you stopped talking to me after I stole your husband. Anyway, like I said, give me your address. It wouldn't do you any good. I don't live in Stormbring. Huh? Whoever you saw downtown the other day, I can tell you for sure that wasn't me. Seeing as I've never even set foot in that city in my entire life. You're such a bad liar, Nicole. Do you really expect me to believe that I didn't recognize my own sister? Believe it or not, it's the truth, so... Sorry, sis, but I'm not gonna let you spoil my fun so easily. I finally found you after all these years, so I have a lot of gloating to catch up on. It's whatever. We live in the same city anyway. And since I know what store you shop at, it won't take any time at all for me to track you down by myself. Hey there, Mariana. Sorry to message you out of the blue like this. Is now a good time? Oh, wow, Nicole, it's so great to hear from you. It's been ages. I've been meaning to contact you myself for a while now, but I assumed you'd been pretty busy. Well, yeah, you assumed correctly. Fortunately, though, I've been able to get help from the people in my inner circle, which makes things a little easier than they could be. But it's still a bit of a mess. If you're taking time out of your busy schedule to message me, then I suppose this probably has something to do with Harry and Jamie. You're just as perceptive as ever. For the last several days, Jamie has been absolutely blowing my phone up with messages all day, every day. So I thought something fishy may be going on and figured I should look into it. You and Harry are cousins. Have you heard anything from them lately? If not directly, from your parents or other relatives? I really can't shake the feeling that something weird is going on. Well, yeah, there kind of is. I thought so. Would you mind filling me in? Okay, and to make a long story short, Harry and Jamie got divorced about a month ago. What? Why? You probably heard that Jamie's kid is 6 now, right? Well, it turns out Harry isn't the father. What the? Hold on. This is the 6-year-old kid that resulted in our marriage breaking up 7 years ago, right? Yeah, that's the right kid. So I'm not sure how everything went down exactly, but for some reason, Harry found out a while back that he was infertile, to the point that he would most likely never be able to have a child of his own. That made him concerned about the son that he had always thought was his. And when he got a paternity test done, the results came back that his suspicions were correct. He wasn't the father. Yikes. After he had that bomb dropped on him, he started doing a little more digging. Then he found out that while Jamie had broken up her relationship before she and Harry got married, she was cheating on him with a different guy for most of their marriage. He filed for divorce, and due to all of Jamie's terrible behavior, she was found at fault and got nothing in the settlement. Good grief. And trust me, there's a lot more to tell you. This is the short version of the story. Wow, how could that situation possibly get any worse? I'd love to tell you about it, but it's an awful lot to send by text. And you're really busy over there, aren't you? I've got stuff to take care of myself, so how about we both get all our work done for the day and have a nice long conversation by phone tonight? Is 9 p.m. or so okay for you? Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that. Okay, then I'll give you a call around 9 tonight then. Talk to you later, Nicole. Thanks, Mariana. Talk to you later. Hey, Mariana, thanks for telling me about all of that. Seriously, though, I prepared myself to hear some crazy stories from you, but I still can't believe all of that actually happened. I just hope I told you something that can be useful to you. But what is up with that sister of yours? She never learns her lesson, does she? She actually goes out of her way to specifically avoid learning her lesson. But anyway, it's only going to be a few days. If she doesn't contact me again, then I can just leave it at that. But if she gives me any more crap, then I'm going to give her a piece of my mind and say goodbye to her for good. Hey there, Nicole. Wow, would you believe how much trouble my son has been causing for me today? So my in-laws sent him a new backpack for a present to congratulate him on moving into the 1st grade. And so he's been grabbing things from all over the house and stuffing them inside. Silverware, plates, my cell phone, car keys. I know. I should just be glad that he's strong and healthy, but it's still really exhausting. Sounds terrible. Oh, wait, that's right. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be complaining about my kid to a woman who can't even have any of her own. I mean, how pathetic can you get, losing your husband because you basically aren't even a real woman? I'm so glad I'm not you. I just need to appreciate having my son regardless of how difficult he can be. Yeah, having a kid is hard work. Imagine how hard it is having triplets. Huh? Triplets? I don't want to keep this conversation going any longer than necessary, so I won't beat around the bush. I got remarried 4 years ago. What? Oh, so you mean your husband had triplets from a previous marriage? Nope, they're mine. I gave birth to them. What? Let me tell you, having triplets is not just 3 times the work and cost of having one, it's way more than that. Fortunately, we were able to get by on just my husband's income, so I'm managing to make things work by staying home full-time and having friends, neighbors, and family give me a hand when I can. So yeah, I definitely feel for you and how much work you have to do to take care of your son. But that's impossible. You're infertile. How do you have triplets? It's quite simple, actually. I was never actually infertile in the first place. What? But hold on. Harry divorced you because you've been trying for 3 years to get pregnant, but you never succeeded. You can't have babies. You're infertile. Then when I was able to give Harry the child he always wanted, he married me. Yep, I know. Since you were pregnant at the time, I decided to take the generous alimony offer he made and divorce him without putting up too much of a fight. But the truth is that I never took a fertility test while we were married. You didn't? I did think about doing it towards the end, seeing as though it's really not normal for 2 young, healthy people to try for 3 years unsuccessfully to get pregnant. But Harry divorced me before I ever got the chance. Oh, I had no idea. Quite the contrary, actually. It turns out that Harry was the one who was infertile after all. Oh no. You know about that? Not at the time, no. I only learned that a little while ago. But how did you know? He never talks to you, so how would you get your hands on that information? You hadn't spoken to me for 7 years and all of a sudden started flooding my phone with texts. You thought you saw me downtown in Stormbringer? You were obsessively telling me every little detail about your daily life with your son. I got suspicious that something was going on with you. I called up a few old acquaintances who I expected would be in the know, and they told me everything. From the fact that Harry found out he was infertile to you guys getting divorced and much, much more very interesting information. Then this person told you about my son, too. Oh yeah, I heard all about that. Both that the boy wasn't actually Harry's son and that your ex-boyfriend, his real father, took custody away from you the other day. I have to say, I am shocked, Jamie. You broke up with him because he was too poor for you, but you never even had the decency to tell him that you were pregnant with his child? I wonder if you regretted kicking him to the curb when he pulled up to your house in a new sports car with Child Protective Services in his wake and a court order to remove the boy from your custody. Oh, come on. Who told you about that? They didn't have to go into that much detail. And then there's our parents. They agreed to go along with your marriage to Harry 7 years ago because, in spite of the circumstances, they wanted their grandson to grow up in a home with both his mother and father. But this was just far too much for them to handle. They cut you off, didn't they? What? How did you hear that? How do you think Mom and Dad told me? I heard the gist of the story from someone else, but I called them to hear it directly from them. They apologized profusely to me, too. They said they should have never accepted yours and Harry's relationship, that they were thinking more about their grandchild than they were their own daughter. So, in other words, I know that your son got taken away from you and is now living with his father, not you. You tried to hide him from his father by moving into Stormbringer where you thought he couldn't find you. But the long arm of the law did its job, and now you're all by yourself. This is the worst. You know everything, even all the minor details I really didn't want you to know. All I wanted was to gloat about being a mom when you could never have kids, to shove my happiness in your face while you were alone and miserable. I never thought my son would be taken away from me. And not to mention, you have triplets? What on earth is going on here? Everything is all topsy-turvy. So you have your big happy family and I'm alone with a massive amount of debt from Harry divorcing me? And all of it is 100% your own fault. It hurts, doesn't it? Stop mocking me! Hey, where are you? Why aren't you in Stormbringer? What? I saw you at the store. You always shop downtown, followed you home, and finally figured out where you lived. But it wasn't you. It was just someone who looked like you. Oh yeah, you mean that woman that you saw and thought was me a while back? I was pretty clear about it back then. Whoever you saw in that store was not me. And again, I do not live in Stormbringer. I've never even been there. Then where are you? If your husband is making enough to support 3 kids on 1 income, then you've got more than enough to help out your own little sister. I am behind on rent and utilities, plus I also have some payments to make on my legal bills from the divorce proceedings, so you're gonna have to lend me some money. What? No way. Why not? Okay, really? I should not have to explain that to you at this point. After everything you've done? Ugh. Nicole, I am completely on my own. I have nothing, no one. Sounds like a good opportunity to me. Huh? Opportunity? A good opportunity for you to turn your life around. Up until now, you've always been leeching off of other people's money in order to get by. Now that you have no one to help you, you'll finally have the chance to learn how to take care of yourself for once in your life. You can't talk to me like that. You're my sister. Now tell me where you live so I can stay with you. I'm just about to live in the sky for a while. You what? The sky? And then tomorrow I'll be living on the ocean. What the? Huh? What are you talking about? I'm going on a cruise, you idiot. We're taking an airplane to the port, then going on a 2-week luxury cruise on the ocean. No way! About to board. Good luck with the debt collectors, Jamie. Nicole, wait, don't go. Take me with you. With nowhere else to go and no one else to turn to, Jamie went to the only person in the world who she had a chance at being able to rely on, her ex-boyfriend, the father of her son. She put on some extra revealing clothes and expensive perfume and marched her way right up to his front door. But when she knocked and the door opened, it was not her ex-boyfriend, but some old man she had never met in boxers and a white t-shirt. Now, most people would simply apologize for showing up at the wrong house if something like that were to happen, but what did Jamie do? She screamed at the top of her lungs. As a result, rather than having a conversation with her ex-boyfriend about getting back together, she had a conversation with the police about disturbing the peace. Unbeknownst to her, the ex-boyfriend had already gotten married to someone else and moved out of his old house. Fortunately for her, since she hadn't committed any chargeable crime, the police let her off with just a warning. Fearing that she would soon get herself into even more financial or legal trouble if they didn't do something, our parents decided to take drastic measures. They enrolled her in a re-education camp, changed their phone numbers, and sold their house. Will this re-education camp finally fix whatever is broken inside my sister? I'm doubtful, but I suppose it couldn't possibly make her any worse. Dad, are you still working? Because today should be the day you finish that business trip and come home, right? I wanted to ask if I'm really your kid. I'm your kid, right? No matter how I think about it, I believe I'm yours, but...
Abby? What's going on? Why are you asking me something like that?
Mom's friend, Mrs. Bauer, is saying some weird things to me.
Mrs. Bauer? Is she the really strangely dressed woman who lives on the first floor of the apartment complex?
That's her.
What all has she said to you?
She told me that I'm not actually your daughter.
Ah.
She's wrong about that, right? I'm related to you by blood, making me your real daughter, right?
Of course you're my daughter. I've spoken to you before about how your mother, who passed away long ago, your real mother, had you while her and I were together, right?
You did.
Mrs. Bauer wasn't even around during those times, so I'm not sure what all she's talking about. And it's not like she's close to our family anyway, so she really needs to mind her own business. Perhaps she's mistaking you for someone else's kid?
That's what I think. Thank goodness you think the same thing.
But why would that person ever say anything like that to you? Later on, I'll have to talk with her about that and explain everything to her so that she doesn't say those same things about you again.
About Mom?
Huh?
She was crying really badly, saying that she needed to stop all of this strange talk about us before it started to spread to everyone. And then she ran off.
Do you think she went to go and talk with Mrs. Bauer?
I think so. She's already there now, I think.
I see.
I think everything will be fine, though.
A lot of the people in this apartment complex have been here a long time with us and know about what happened. Mrs. Bauer and her family only moved here half a year ago, so I hadn't gotten around to explaining anything to her about us, but I probably have to now. I just didn't want to bother her and her family yet.
I see.
Now that I think about it, when she came to our room with her husband to introduce themselves, we traded phone numbers.
You did?
She told me that she wanted to have everyone who lives in this apartment complex's number in case there's ever an emergency. So that's the only reason we exchanged phone numbers then. I've never talked with her or anything, over the phone or with text though.
You never really have a reason to, so I don't blame you for not talking to her or her husband.
I'm a bit worried about your mom right now since she ran off to Mrs. Bauer's place. Right now, I'm getting on the plane to fly back home to you both. There'll be Wi-Fi on the plane so you can text me if anything happens while I'm on my way home. All right?
All right. Thank you, Dad. Excuse me, but this is Abby's father, Beau, who I'm texting right now?
What?
My name is Rebecca, and I'm currently living in room 105 of our apartment building.
Ah, nice to meet you again. Are you wanting to talk about my daughter then, and that's why you're texting me now?
That's right. So you must have heard about things from her already?
That's correct. Just a little bit ago, her and I were talking with one another about it. I'm not really sure where all the confusion about things had started, but my daughter is 100% related to me by blood, and I have her birth certificate and everything to prove just that. I'd like it if you'd please stop saying such strange things to her from here on out.
Are you kidding me? You have still not noticed anything about this yet?
What are you talking about?
I wonder what I could be talking about. Could you please let your wife know about this for me? If you don't, and I start to get all upset here, then I can have my brother and all his old friends come out to your apartment and make you wish you'd just accepted the truth.
Excuse me?
In the past, I was involved with a lot of street gangs, all right? My older brother was the head of one of those gangs, and if you piss me off, you'll be pissing him off, and things will get scary. Dad, there's an emergency.
What's happened?
Mom came back home and her cheek is all bruised and swollen.
What?
She told me that Mrs. Bauer punched her in the face.
She punched your mom?
She didn't listen to anything Mom was trying to say, and then she punched Mom to get her to shut up. I'm helping her put ice on her cheek right now, but it looks like the inside of her mouth is all cut up.
What the hell?
We should go to the hospital, right? Because the bleeding isn't stopping from her mouth.
Yes, please, go there.
All right, I'll go and let the old man next door know about what's happened, and we need to leave.
Good idea. When you get to the hospital, make sure to let the doctor know that Mom was assaulted and that a police report and everything needs to be made up. Once your mom's mouth has been taken care of, head to Grandma and Grandpa's house and stay there.
Okay.
Please, take good care of your mom for me.
All right. Listen, bud. Don't be ghosting me like that right in the middle of our discussion.
Sorry, there was an emergency that came up, and so I had to focus all of my attention on that for a bit.
An emergency?
Right now, I'm on my way to go see my wife, who got punched in the cheek by you. Tell me, what was all that about?
I did that because she was asking to take a knuckles sandwich to her left cheek. That woman? She has balls of steel showing up at my door again like that, whining about things. And you, Beau. You need to get real with me and stop playing around.
What are you talking about right now?
I am talking about the secret of Abby's birth. Abby is really my husband's daughter, and we all should know that by now. You are not her real dad, and I want her to stop calling you that. Hence why I told her the truth. In other words, this all happened years ago, about a year before Abby was born, where your wife was with my husband cheating on the both of us. But before things could be handled, your wife married you, and then she had Abby, and you took the position of being her father. And I have hated you ever since because you never noticed that your wife had cheated on you with my man.
Listen to this then, Rebecca. My wife has never been pregnant while she's been with me.
What?
Her and I only started dating about 4 years ago, and 2 years ago we got married. This was her first time getting married, and I got married to her, bringing my daughter Abby along with me. This is my second time being married now.
Huh?
That means Abby is still related to me by blood because my previous wife gave birth to her after we tried for so long to have a baby, and my current wife is like her stepmother.
Stepmother?
This might be a little bit of a sidetrack, but if you take my daughter's age of 15 and add 1 year to it, that would be 16 years ago. But at that time, I was with Abby's real mother, and we were happily married to one another. I was never going out with my current wife then, so I cannot speak for whatever she was up to.
What? Huh? Abby, she's 15 years old?
That's correct.
What? But she was telling me all about how she had this test she was taking at the local elementary school before she graduated from there.
She was only taking her 8th grade exams at the elementary school because her middle school is having some construction done, and that would distract the students. After the exam, she'll be graduating from there and going to high school.
Huh? So she's not going into middle school?
Did you think that she was younger and still in 5th grade?
Yeah.
I suppose my daughter isn't the tallest girl, and one could say she's a late bloomer, but she's normally wearing her school's soccer uniform when she comes home from school. Did you not see that it was for her middle school?
I'm never home in the afternoon, so I only see her when she's going to school in the morning.
Is that so? Understood then.
But, Bo, I'm not kidding when I say that your wife had been having relations with my husband.
Is that something that's still going on currently?
Yes! Half a year ago, when my family moved into this building, they got back together and have been having an affair ever since. I made a mistake about who Abby's real father was and all that, but I know for a fact that my husband is cheating on me with your wife.
And do you have evidence of this?
I've seen them together plenty of times now. They both come out of the office building over by Hartford Station, and it's during the middle of the day when they should still be inside working.
How often are they doing such a thing?
At least twice a week. And the rest of the time they're together is after work or at work outings when they have to stay late.
That's very strange, Rebecca.
How is any of that strange?
Because my wife is currently working at an accounting office right down the street from this apartment complex.
Huh?
She's currently working as a part of the company's management and has been there for some time. So I'm not sure that she's making the 45-minute trip all the way out to Hartford Station to see your husband twice a week.
What? Oh, you're kidding me.
Rebecca?
What?
Actually, my wife's cousin happens to work out over in that area and can be seen going to and from that station quite a lot.
Cousin?
Here's something that you might benefit from hearing about that cousin. She happens to share a lot of the same features as my wife and will sometimes be misidentified as my wife when going out around this part of the city. So I think you made the same mistake.
Are you serious? I can't believe I got your wife mixed up with her.
Now listen, Rebecca. There's something else. You are also cheating currently, aren't you?
Huh? What the hell are you talking about now?
You are going out with the store manager of the store you work at part-time. And that daughter of yours you had a little while back happens to be that store manager's daughter.
Wait, what?
The fact that you were going off on my family and me for something that wasn't even happening, all while your situation is one and the same to what you thought was going on here? I don't care if you made a mistake and became confused about us. In the position you're in, there's no reason for my wife to be punched by a hypocrite.
Who the hell are you? How do you know about all of that?
This was the outcome of what an investigator found out for your husband, who asked him to look into you.
Huh? An investigator?
As a matter of fact, during that same time you went and punched my wife in the face for no reason at all, I got a call from your husband about all of this. He told me all sorts of things about you after he learned from the investigator. Also, your husband and my wife's cousin happen to both work for that same company, yes, but they're never doing anything besides taking their lunch break at the same time and talking business.
What?
And if you'd like evidence of that, you can ask their company for the security gate records of when they go in and out of the building and see it lining up with their lunch. And if that's not enough for you, the company also has all the records of the projects they've had to work on together, and that some of those projects require them to stay late after work and get them done. So, your husband has not been cheating on you yet, Rebecca? You claimed they were cheating just because you saw them together, and you went around saying that to everyone, right? Of course, while you'd say that, you'd also go on about how if your husband was going to cheat, you'd do the exact same thing. And that's why you've started to have an affair with the store manager.
What? Wait, huh?
There was a lot of information in all of what I just said, so I can understand you not taking in everything all at once. But I'll make things simple for you now. 1, besides you and your store manager, nobody else is having an affair. 2, you just committed a crime in all your confusion. There you go.
No way.
Take a few more reads through all of this so that you can get a good understanding of what all has happened, please.
Do you think you can just say things like that to me? After hearing about you saying I've committed a crime by hitting your wife and your lies about me having an affair with my store manager, my brother and his gang will not leave you alone.
Is that so? Well, I'm aware that you're the little sister of Jacob Roberts, who was the leader of the street gang Heaven's Demons, right?
Huh? Heaven's Demons?
Go let him know not to do a thing after this. Unless he's willing to have all of those things from his past brought back up and then face his rival street gang.
What? Are you talking about Satan's Angels? The gang that's insanely strong now?
In the past they were.
I'm so sorry.
The next day, Rebecca's husband got a divorce from her, and that's also when her husband found out the daughter she had wasn't his. And so he had the both of them leave his apartment together and told her to never bring that child back to him. I was coming back home right as she was being kicked out, and when our eyes met, she screamed her head off before taking her daughter and sprinting out of the building. How rude. Rebecca would later be asked to pay a large settlement in the divorce since she had cheated and had a child with another man and would have to do so in one lump payment. She tried to get some form of child support from her husband in the divorce, though, but once again, the child was not her husband's, and so his lawyer told her there was nothing she could do about that. That settlement in the divorce wasn't going to be the only thing Rebecca had to pay, though, as my wife also got a settlement from her for being assaulted, and that had to be paid in one lump payment as well. This settlement turned out to be even larger than the one her husband had asked for, since she'd be paying for all the medical bills my wife received for not only stitching up the inside of her mouth, but for the pain medication she'd be on after having her cheekbone fractured. It only took a few days after the court ruling, and all that money my wife had asked for was paid. My wife and daughter both said she was being very quiet and smart now by paying that settlement without fighting back at all. And I said that it's almost like she'd learned her place after our talk, all while laughing. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.